Gentlemen, welcome back to Fourby and welcome back to the workshop. Last time we were here we were looking at the Sill section for the County CSW, and we were repairing the bottom section of the door seals by blending in some new metal. Now there's a further part to this on the C section where the sill rises up on the C section to meet the tub, and now this was very badly rotted on this vehicle, and I took the time initially when I took it off to put a bit of metal on it and join the two pieces together and use the body as a jig. But now that I've actually got it off and inspected it further, it's a bit beyond repair. Now repair sections are available, and I bought some from YRM Metal Solutions, and I intend to weld that in replacement of what's there already. So here we have the B pillar and where it joins the sill. Down there is our repair section, and up here is the C section which goes up and joins the tub. Now you can see here where I've drilled out the rivets, but you can also see here where I'd patched it. This basically didn't exist. Electrolytic corrosion had took the better of it, and the steel had literally disintegrated. I did think at the time that I may have a chance of rebuilding this, so I plated it while it was still on the vehicle, simply to use the vehicle as a jig. But I'll spin it around and I'll show you what's on the other side, because it ain't too pretty, to be honest. Right, what you're looking at here now is the back side of the C section, the C pillar, and as you can see, it is totally destroyed. Corrosion has got the better of it, and in all honesty, although I was relatively optimistic at the time in my ability to sort this out, looking at it now, once it's off the car, it is just too far gone. So I've got a repair section. Let me show you that. Here we have the repair section, and I bought this from YRM Metal Solutions, who are a good bunch of guys. Being a Land Rover trader ourselves, I get to walk around and meet other traders, and I've been to see YRM on a couple of occasions in relation to this project, and they really are a good friendly bunch, and they know what they're doing. You know, if there's a particular part that you need, go and speak to them, because they fabricate all these metal parts and they have them in the right gauge of steel to the right templates, and they're pretty much ready to go straight on your car, so it saves a lot of messing around in the long run. So I think the first thing to do is to separate this C section from the sill, clean this up, and see what we can do in terms of formulating some sort of jig to weld the new section in here. So let me get my goggles on. And my ear defenders, and we'll chop through it. So after going at it with a grinder for about half an hour or so, we've got most of the rusty metal off. I'm not entirely convinced we're going to get a really sound weld on here, because this metal itself, the sill section itself, is not in brilliant shape, but I think we're going to run with it. So let's move over to the C section now and see what we can do in terms of making a repair. We've got the original section, which is absolutely shot. This is our repair section here, and I think what I'm going to do is use these rivet holes to form some sort of a jig. So I'm going to chop it off here, I think, just to get rid of this sharp edge, just to make it nicer to handle, and we'll see what we can do in terms of getting out these drilled out rivets and jigging it up for welding. So we took this over to the bandsaw and chopped it in half. What we're doing is just taking the opportunity now, because this repair section comes in two parts, to paint the inside with a bit of rust proofing primer, and then what we'll do is we'll rivet it together and assemble it as one. So we're over at the bandsaw, and I've screwed this C pillar section onto a piece of wood. I've adjusted the back jaw on the vise to the angle that we need to cut. I've bumped it in. I've got this as level as I can with the back jaw of the vise. We've got a couple of clamps on here. All our bolts are tight. I'm going to take a very light cut and just assist the bandsaw on its way down. I don't want too much pressure on this because it might chatter. So back over at this little temporary jig that I've made up on the workbench, and let's see how we get on. Let's screw that back into where it was. Well, I'm happy with that. Right, so we've got the top section in the jig here, and if we offer this section back up that we cut off, I don't know if you can see that. Let me find a pointer. That hole there is going to have a bit of body riveted to it, so we need to preserve this angle here and preserve the alignment on these holes. Now obviously we've got a bit of space here where the saw blade went through, but what is interesting is when we offer up the second piece, the other piece, that hole is not quite in the same spot. So I think what we need to do is tack it in this position where that hole aligns and that hole aligns, and if we just do a couple of little tacks, we can offer it up to the car, use the car as a jig, and if it's sound we can come back and finish the weld in completion, and if it's not we can cut through it and have another go. So let me chuck some screws in here and here. We'll blast a quick tack on here and here and here and here, and then we'll offer it up to the car. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.